Welcome to the Never Stop Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, as always, Dominic, however you want to refer to me as, and what an action-packed last few days we've had when it comes even just strictly from the WWE. Obviously, AEW had their stuff going on this weekend too, but we're going to be talking about in this episode what happened at WWE Night of Champions, who won the King and Queen of the Ring, what that might lead to in the future, potential opportunities, will they win at Summerslam, what storylines can be, included in their championship match, what could happen after. We're also going to be talking about what just happened on this past Monday Night Raw. So everyone, grab your popcorn. Grab whatever drink that you like to drink. Grab a cup of Joe, a cup of mud. I don't really care. Let's enjoy and let's just appreciate the action-packed last few days that we've had of WWE. And let's talk about it. Let's have a nice discussion about it. And as always, drop a like, comment down below some takes that you have from this episode, from recent events, and of course, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the podcast, and we're going to dive right into it with the first match at Night of Champions, Cody Rhodes getting his well-deserved rematch against John Cena for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Now, let's be real here. I'm not I like Cody a lot. I can't say I'm one of the bigger Cody fans out there because Cody has some diehard fans. I do believe Cody Rhodes, his rematch is justified. One, he lost his title in an unfair fashion. John Cena had Travis Scott coming out there. John Cena should have been DQ'd by hitting Cody Rhodes with the title, also low blowing Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes lost the title at WrestleMania 41 in a cheating way. Cody Rhodes deserves a rematch. So Cody winning the King of the Ring finals, was the right move. Now, we did see some things in this match between Cody and Randy that were a little bit skeptical, where Randy Orton, as we all know, has back issues in real life outside of storylines and character working. But in the match, they made it known right from the get-go after Randy Orton suplexed Cody Rhodes off the top rope. They made the focal point right from the get-go that Randy's back was going to be a huge factor in this match. And I love how Michael Cole does great calls by pointing that out before us as fans watching it and also in person. You might be thinking it, but Cole will say it before, you completely make that assumption. So Cole made it known that Randy is suffering from back issues, which was a great call by Michael Cole. And it was the main factor of Cody Rhodes actually winning this King of the Ring finals. And Cody Rhodes, showing some signs that stuff that Cody doesn't normally do, abusing Randy Orton's, back to get the win, to get his rematch against John Cena at SummerSlam, to get back his WWE Undisputed Championship. That's not really the Cody Rhodes that we're used to. I mean, this is Cody Rhodes' mentor. He said it on countless occasions. You can make the case that, Randy Orton said, as much as we are brothers, I'm going to do whatever it takes to beat you at Night of Champions. So it could just be fair game that Cody Rhodes was just, doing what Randy said that he was going to do to Cody. Randy said that he was down to do whatever it takes to beat Cody. It was kind of fair game. Cody did whatever it took to beat Randy in a weird fashion because Randy actually does suffer from back issues. So maybe Cody took it to the next level. Maybe Randy meant I'm just not gonna quit. I will end up beating you. That's what maybe Randy went by. I'll do whatever it takes. Maybe Cody took it in different terms. Maybe Cody took it in terms of, hey, I'm going to use an unexposed turnbuckle to basically help me set up a crossroads and get the win against you. That's how Cody Rhodes won the match. So on top of Cody abusing the back with backbreakers, suplexes, and several other moves, I think on the edge of the apron as well, we saw Cody Rhodes also in like chokehold locks too. I said this while I was watching the match. We're seeing a lot of like heel instincts from Cody Rhodes from this match with Cody against Randy. And even the speech afterwards where Cody won the King of the Ring, Cody sounded very cocky, very arrogant. And not saying that I don't like that. It's just not something that we see from Cody Rhodes. We're definitely seeing a character enhancement, I feel like, with Cody, where he's not so much this just super babyface, just very plain, like how Sami Zayn kind of is, where he's just here to save the day. I'm only going to do the right thing. It seems like Cody Rhodes, he's just down to get the job done. Not in a heel way, but I don't know. Some of the things that Cody Rhodes is doing kind of giving me signs that maybe Cody Rhodes can turn heel in the future. And Cody Rhodes showed no remorse, no regret after using the unexposed turnbuckle and also abusing Randy Orton's back. Now listen, Cody Rhodes had to get the job done. I'm just saying this isn't something that we would normally see from Cody Rhodes. Just like how at the Elimination Chamber, John Cena taking advantage of Seth Rollins curb stomping CM Punk, John Cena taking advantage of Punk by dragging him into the ring, realizing the opportunity was right there, putting him in the STF, and Punk just, I don't even think Punk tapped out. I think Punk just passed out. But that was a sign where we were like, before Cena turned heel, that wasn't something that Cena would normally do. So could this be something that we look back on in the next few months, where if Cody Rhodes does turn heel, maybe we could look back on this particular match where Randy Orton got abused, his back was abused from Cody, and it was really because Cody's done playing the nice guy gimmick, and Cody Rhodes just wants to, get what's his. He wants to get his title back. He wants to be on top of the company. He wants it all. Maybe we're seeing that from Cody Rhodes. So, great match overall. Very, very good match. And the next match that we will talk about is Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez in the street fight. I'm not going to lie here. Love Rhea Ripley. Huge fan of Mommy. But I don't see why Rhea had to win this here. I think Raquel, the women's division lacks a lot of powerhouses. And I think really the only powerhouses in the women's division are Nia Jax. You can include Jade Cargill. And I think the other, powerhouse in the women's division is really Raquel Rodriguez. And for Raquel's record against Rhea prior to this match happening being, I think Raquel was 1-5, I think, or 1-4. To have her keep constantly losing to Rhea Ripley. Raquel got dominated by Rhea, their previous feud that they had with one another. At least give Raquel the first win of, I don't know, maybe this is just a one-off feud, and it was just a one-off match because maybe someone didn't want to compete at Saudi Arabia for Night of Champions, because now, I'm going to talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw after we get done with Night of Champions, but let's just say Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez didn't come into contact with each other. So maybe this was just a one-off match. I mean, if it was a one-off match, that's pretty tough. I don't know. But I still think Raquel should have got the victory, especially with Liv Morgan being absent now. Try and make Raquel look a little bit, intimidating, especially with her still holding some gold, holding the tag team championships. And I don't think if Rhea lost, it would have affected Rhea. I think it affects more of Raquel, of her losing, because she's a champion. She's in a faction where, it's looking a little shaky, at least prior to Monday Night Raw. So I don't know. I don't think Rhea would have been affected by a loss rather than Raquel losing. I think Raquel gets more affected by losing rather than if Rhea lost. I don't know. That's just me. It just would have been cool to see Raquel get a victory. And she looked dominant too. I liked the way that they had the match. It was a great match. Raquel did look dominant. I love that Roxanne helped out Raquel, at least tried to. Rhea Ripley put Roxanne in a trash can, knocked her out as well. That was really, really cool. And shout out to Roxanne, shout out to the superstars who, there were quite a few superstars at Night of Champions who literally flew down to Night of Champions, to Saudi Arabia, to have just a small segment within the show. So, shout out to Roxanne, shout out to Penta, shout out to a couple other, just honestly everyone who was at this event. Just great show overall. But, yeah, I love that Roxanne came out to try and help Raquel. Tried to help Raquel because Rhea Ripley was not having it. She riptied Raquel Rodriguez off a table off the top rope. I thought that was really cool, and that was a great ending to the match. I don't know. I just wish Raquel could get some wins against some credible opponents to make her the powerhouse that I honestly see her as, and I feel like a lot of other people do too. It's just tough. Rhea Ripley is like the biggest star, one of the biggest stars in the entire company. It's a toss-up. It really is, and I understand that as well. Next match, Sammy won the battle for now. Obviously, if you've seen the last few podcast episodes, I am a Karrion Kross stan. I am an absolute huge Kross fan, and I gotta say, at first when I heard, because I didn't watch Night of Champions when it first, while it was live. I watched it later on. I got off work and I was like, all right, now time to watch Night of Champions. I saw a few spoilers, and sadly the Sammy versus Kross match was one of the spoilers, and I was mad at first. But now, afterwards, as I saw the match, I saw how it ended, Kross talking to Sammy during the match, instilling it into his head that, Sammy, you are a liar. You're not telling the truth to your fans, the people that do like you. And I'm not going to lie, if they weren't in Saudi Arabia, I think the crowd would have went a completely different direction. Obviously, Saudi loves Sami Zayn. Honestly, a tough spot for Karrion Kross. Kross still got cheers when he came out there, which is a great sign, because if you had that match in the States, or honestly just anywhere else, Sammy's getting booed, Kross is getting cheered. No question. So, I think it was a really interesting obstacle for Kross. Yes, huge accomplishment that he's on a PLE. He's having an actual feud. But I think it was a really interesting obstacle because of where it was at, and also how favored Sami Zayn was for the crowd, and also for storyline purposes. But this is just the beginning of what the feud is going to be. Kross, I love the manipulation and the storyteller that Kross is. And just from this match alone, you saw it in what he was saying to Sammy. The moves that he was doing to Sammy. He was just he was inflicting just so much impact to Sami Zayn. Very, very aggressive to Sammy, and I love that. It's like storytelling with moves, and also with him talking to Sammy mid-match. It was very, very good. Sammy got the win, but this is just the beginning for Kross and Sammy. And we're going to talk about what happened on Monday Night Raw, because we now officially know this is just the beginning of Kross and Sammy. And we got to give a huge shout out to Solo Sikoa. Finally getting what he deserves. I think it's about time. Out of all the members in the bloodline, like the OG bloodline, Solo, Jimmy, Jay, Roman, obviously, Solo was in the back burner out of all of them. I think Jimmy and Solo is kind of a toss-up for who's getting the least amount of love after the Bloodline storyline. But I think Solo got the most hate. And kind of unnecessary hate. Because now we're seeing how good of a worker Solo Sikoa is. And how natural he is on the mic. He's got to be... I thought Jimmy, Jay, and Roman were funny. Solo Sikoa is a whole different breed. Very, very organic, natural on the mic. In ring, he's great. And I'm glad Solo got the win. I think it could have went either way. Jacob retaining, looking dominant, that would have been cool. Solo winning, though, I'm cool with that, too. We're seeing a new champion. Obviously, this can lead to SummerSlam. We could see Solo defending the U.S. title against Jacob Fatu, maybe in like a Bloodline rules match at SummerSlam. I don't know, just making a hypothetical right now. But with Solo winning, you can continue the feud between Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa, and not to mention we got Hikuleo making his TV debut, and also Tonga Loa, the GOAT, returning after his injury from War Games, which was quite a long time ago. And they ended up basically almost squashing Jacob Fatu after Tonga Loa tried Tonga Loa tried to squash Jacob Fatu. Fatu ended up kicking out after Tonga Loa's attempt. But Hikuleo, they made him look dominant off rip. Choke slamming Jacob Fatu onto the table, throwing him in. Solo Sikoa, spike, bam, 1, 2, 3. I thought that was very good. Great booking for Hikuleo for his debut. I know he debuted on Main Event, but that doesn't even count. I don't know why they even did that. And now his name is actually Talatonga, I think? Talatonga? They changed his name. It's not Hikuleo. But I love it. Solo Sikoa building the Bloodline faction to what looked like a joke just a few months ago to now looking dominant. You have Hikuleo. You have Solo Sikoa as the leader and the U.S. champ. You have Tonga Loa. And you have, when he comes back, Tama Tonga. Solo's low-key recreating like he's becoming Roman Reigns. Solo Sikoa is my tribal chief. I acknowledge you, Solo. I'm very excited to what they're going to do with Solo as champ, and also with Solo just leading this new bloodline. I'm very excited now. And I love that the whole WWE universe is also excited to see what Solo Sikoa can bring to the table now, as we're seeing in matches, just very naturally funny, good in ring as well, good worker. What else can you ask for? Honestly, he's doing a good job, I think, at leading this faction, because it's been through its tough times. I don't know. I like what I'm seeing from Solo Sikoa, but I don't think it's over between Solo and Jacob. I think they're going to continue this to SummerSlam. Maybe Jacob wins it back at SummerSlam. They can have a little back and forth action where, Solo has it, Jacob has it. They have another rematch. Maybe Solo wins it again. I don't know. But they're bringing some elevation to the U.S. title, and I like to see that. And the Queen of the Ring match, which I honestly, before watching it, I was like, yeah, Jade's going to win. No question. But after seeing the crowd reaction that Asuka got in Saudi, I was like, wow, I don't know who's going to win this. I genuinely can see at the time before watching the match happening, I could have saw Asuka and Io Sky going one-on-one at SummerSlam for the Women's World Championship. I could have easily seen that with the way the crowd was going for Asuka. Obviously, that wasn't the case, and I think what I've been predicting the last few episodes, throughout this entire Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring tournament, I've been making predictions of what I think is going to happen with the winners and I ended up being correct about the winners of both sides of the tournament. And I think I'm going to be right about the outcomes of the SummerSlam matches between the winners of the King and the Queen, between the winners of the King and Queen of the Ring. I think Jade Cargill is going to defeat Tifanny Statton at SummerSlam, and I think the end game of this all, Jade Cargill will have her time to shine. I think this all ends in Naomi cashing in on Jade Cargill after she beats Tifanny. Naomi getting her revenge on Jade Cargill for obviously everything that's been going on between her, Bianca, and that entire storyline. And also Naomi making her promise to Tifanny Statton. One, it makes Naomi look like a fantastic heel, as she already is looking like a great heel. And then on top of that, a heel making their promises and going, following through with their promises looks really good from a character standpoint. So Naomi making those promises and following them up looks really good for Naomi's case. One, cashing in, and also I think the crowd would be really behind Naomi at SummerSlam. And then afterwards as well. Cashing in, becoming women's champion, have her have a title reign until maybe, honestly, you could go to WrestleMania. You could. That'll be a tough road to predict. I don't know what PLEs are right after SummerSlam, but I would be excited for that. I think they could definitely, have some interesting things going on with Naomi as champ. But I think that's the end goal with Jade Cargill winning at SummerSlam. I think that's it for Tifanny Statton. Jade Cargill gets that in her accolades as she has won the Women's Championship. But then Naomi comes in, steals the show, heist of the century for the women. I love the sound of that. And last but not least, the end of the show, the last real champion title reign continues. John Cena, CM Punk, their final showdown. Not going to lie, a little disappointed that their final showdown ended in a WrestleMania 40 sequence where super overbooked. At the same time, I was actually laughing while watching because I was like, this is this is crazy. Everyone coming out, saving one another. Braun Bronson, Seth Rollins came out. You got Penta, walking out. He's doing the Zero Miro thing to the fans, and he's looking like Jeff Hardy before coming out to save someone. Penta's like, hold up, let me do my walk. Let me do my walk. Zero Miro to everyone. You got CM Punk getting his ass beat. And Penta's like, hold on. That was honestly so funny. I was actually laughing while watching. I was like, wait, hold on, Penta? What is bro doing? I was like, what is he doing? At first, I actually had no clue why Penta was even out there. But then I remembered Rollins threatened Penta on the previous Monday Night Raw. So I was like, okay. I thought they just threw Penta out there. I mean, I wouldn't have been mad. I love Penta. Hold on. Penta's so cool. I had to talk about Penta really quick. I'm sorry. Yeah, Penta was looking like Jeff Hardy out there, though. While he's trying to make a run-in save, he's got Jeff's got to do his little his hand waves. Penta's got to do a little Zero Miro, a little walk too. I thought that was really funny. All right, that's it about Penta. That's it about Penta. But Seth Rollins getting involved, ruining the match for CM Punk, you could even say. Smart. Seth Rollins and CM Punk can run out for months, years, until CM Punk is officially done wrestling. You can have Punk and Rollins go for the next 5 years until CM Punk is completely done with wrestling. Just like same goes to Seth Rollins. all the way until the end of Seth Rollins' career, feeling you can keep revisiting this feud because there's so much realism to it between the animosity between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. So, at the same time, like I said before, I wish it wasn't super overbooked for this being Punk and Cena's last match. But we did see Cena kind of look like a babyface at one point. He listened to the crowd. John Cena acknowledged the crowd. He listened to the crowd. John Cena was going to hit CM Punk with the WWE Undisputed Championship. He was going to do his classic title shot that he's been doing his entire farewell tour. But the fans were telling him, no, John Cena's looking around, he's looking around. He throws the title to the side. He listened to the fans. This is the first time we're seeing John Cena actually care about the fans and what they've had to say since he's been on this farewell tour. Like, since when he started out as a babyface before turning heel. So, was this hinting towards John Cena turning into a babyface in the near future? Or was this all mind games for the match? Because we did see Cena do his classic mean look as he hugged John Cena. It looked like he was showing respect. Then Cena tried to go with the low blow. Punk caught him. And so Cena didn't end up low blowing him. I know he intended on low blowing CM Punk, but he didn't. So I don't know. Definitely something to look back on, just like I was talking about with Cody Rhodes and how Cody kind of looked like a heel. Obviously, Cody isn't a heel right now, but maybe it's something that we look back on and be like, oh, remember when Cena actually cared about what the crowd was saying? Could be something that we look back on. Just saying. That was the end of Night of Champions. Now we got some Raw talk. We're talking about some Monday Night Raw. And I actually missed this Monday Night Raw. I caught up on the highlights and some posts on social media. So this isn't me live getting all this information, watching it live while it was going on. This is me watching it after the fact. Not that it really changes anything, but it might change my instant reaction on some things. It might cause me to think about things maybe a little bit differently because I wasn't watching it while the show was actually going on. Might sound weird, but I don't know. It's just me. I believe it started out where Io Sky challenged Rhea Ripley to defend her Women's World Championship at Evolution? It seemed like, at least from what I saw. Let's be real here, guys. As sad as this might sound, this is the end of Io Sky's title reign. 100%. What is WWE doing? Why every time every time Io Sky gets a title, they don't know what to do with her? I don't know why. They have her this triple threat match at WrestleMania 40. The triple threat match at WrestleMania 41 was one of the best matches at WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 combined. You have Io Sky looking like one of the bigger baby faces in the entire company. Everyone doing the friggin', the head thing that Io does. Like, Io is so over. Then, after WrestleMania, where was Io Sky? They did the exact same thing, and I was worried about this. I think I talked about it in one of my first podcast episodes. I thought I saw faith in WWE in booking Io Sky to be a good champion this time around compared to her first women's championship title reign where she lost it to Bayley at WrestleMania 40. That title reign really had no direction at all either. Now we're kind of seeing copy and paste. Io Sky wins a title, and they don't know what to do with her after. It's a shame. Io Sky is, without a doubt, probably the best in-ring performer in the entire company. She's over with the crowd, and people want to say, oh, the language barrier, she can't cut promos like, Rhea, Bianca, Tiffany, and all the other girls who can they can cut promos easier than Io Sky. Not saying that Io Sky can't cut promos. Io can. She's improved on her English a lot. I don't want to hear that as an excuse of why they can't book her to be a good champion. Io Sky's over with the crowd. We love Io Sky no matter what. Just put her on TV. Put her in the ring. Have her have matches. Defend the title. This is disrespectful to Io Sky. Rhea, I can almost put my house on it that Rhea Ripley is going to beat Io Sky at Evolution, and it's a shame. It really is a shame. Not because Rhea is winning it, just because I think this truly is the end of Io Sky's title reign. And let's be real here, guys. This title reign never even started, and it's going to end. That's disappointing. And I think it's a slap in the face to Io Sky. And I don't know. You can make the case maybe Io could win because she wanted the match against Rhea Ripley. Like, she kind of enforced it at first. But I don't know. Are we going to have Rhea Ripley still go Rhea Ripley has never beat Io Sky yet. Io Sky is like 5-0 against Rhea Ripley on one-on-one matches, or 4-0. Are we going to have Rhea Ripley lose again? I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but what are the odds? What are the odds of that really happening? I don't know. I love Io, dude. I mean, look behind me. I can't even point right if you're watching on YouTube. I got Io Sky signed turnbuckle from the WrestleMania 40 match that Io actually lost her last women's title reign to Bayley at WrestleMania 40. It's just a shame. Io Sky's Women's World Championship title reign, the title reign that never even started, but it's going to end. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Oh, and by the way, guys, Chad Gable's not El Grande Americano. I don't want to hear anything else that you guys have to say. This man has been friggin' and I don't even know the words. I can't even think of the words. Chad Gable has been just, brutally criticized that he's been El Grande Americano this entire time. And it's a shame. Everyone should apologize to Chad Gable right now. Because clearly, this isn't Chad Gable, right? Because Chad Gable is out. Everyone was like, oh, what are the coincidences? What are the odds that El Grande is also out while Chad Gable is out? Well, clearly, El Grande is still active. Because he's not Chad Gable, guys. Like, come on. Get it to your head. I don't know who this could be. Who could it be? Could El Grande be Omos? Wait. It could be Omos. Guys, we haven't seen Omos in forever. We could see the return of Omos. I see some shades of it. Maybe we see the real person behind El Grande Americano very soon. And it could be the 7-foot giant Omos. And it's not Chad Gable, guys. I think it's Omos. And as we were talking about before, with the Night of Champions little recap analysis, Karrion Kross continues to make a huge statement. Karrion Kross is not done with this story. He's not. Steel pipe right to Sami Zayn's stomach. Sami Zayn, you gotta get this through your thick skull. Sami, get this through your thick skull. Stop lying. Kross isn't going to stop until the truth is revealed. And this is what I love about Kross as a character. Who else is like Kross? Is Kross a heel? Is he a babyface? He technically is a heel, but, he's kind of like one of those heels where it's like, okay, I understand this guy. I understand where he's coming from. There aren't too many guys in the business that have characters like this. Cross's character arc is exposing the truth out of superstars. And it's really neat to see because we're seeing it right now with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is viewed as this underdog. Oh, why me? Just like that. That's what I think of when I think of Sami Zayn. Cross wants to expose the real truth of what's really going on here. And I like that. I really do like that. And let's be real here, guys. Cross isn't finished with Zayn until Sami just confesses the truth. Sami, that's all you got to do. The clock is ticking, Sami. How much more brutality can you take? How much? Because Cross isn't going to stop. The Cross cult is live. The Cross cult is going to take over. I love it. You know what I also love? The Judgment Day looking like a dominant faction. It's about damn time. The Judgment Day, is it nearly as good as Finn and Damian as undisputed tag team champions, Dominic Mysterio as the North American champion, and Rhea Ripley as the women's world champion, and Damian Priest as the Money in the Bank holder? I can't say it's better than that. But we got the Judgment Day all having gold, dominating the tag team division. Raquel and Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez is now the other half of the women's tag team champions. Finn Balor and JD McDonough. The crowd erupting for Finn Balor and JD becoming our new Raw tag team champions. And obviously we have Dirty Dominic, the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, as our, obviously, Intercontinental Champion. The Judgment Day, and that's why I said previously, I wish Raquel got a win at Night of Champions, because as weird as this might sound, that would make me really feel afraid of this Judgment Day. I like where they're going with the Judgment Day right now. I'm glad that they all have gold. They look intimidating from an appearance standpoint. I think if Raquel wins at Night of Champions, that adds even more levels to Raquel and Roxanne. And I'm glad that Raquel and Roxanne are now, having a little bit of a Naomi, Jade, and Bianca situation where, one half gets injured, the replacement steps in, and now they're going to form this bond. Now when Liv Morgan comes back, she's going to be obviously a baby face, because the Judgment Day are heels. And we're going to see Liv Morgan go at Raquel and Roxanne. At least that's what I believe. I believe that's the angle that's going to go on here when Liv Morgan does come back. And if Liv Morgan can come back before SummerSlam, we could, I really do believe, see Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley maybe teaming up. If they want to go back towards Rhea and Raquel. But I think that was a one-off. So I don't know. I think that prediction is kind of out of the waters now. I think it's completely squashed. But I love it. The Judgment Day is looking dominant. The crowd was really hyped to see Finn Balor and JD win. That was really cool to see. As much as I don't want to see Finn as a tag team wrestler, it's just cool seeing Finn pick up a win, JD pick up a win. Judgment Day looking really good right now. I gotta say, Judgment Day right now looking like the most dominant faction in the entire WWE. You know what? Hold up. I'm forgetting about the Seth Rollins faction. I think they're number 2. Judgment Day's number 2. Right behind the Seth Rollins faction. That's not bad, though. That's not bad. I mean, the Seth Rollins faction should be number 1. And like I said before, I do love that Roxanne Perez is now the other half of the Women's Tag Team Champions. This is going to create a huge storyline when Liv Morgan comes back. We're going to see, to what I believe, Liv Morgan go after Roxanne Perez. Kind of similar to what Jade Cargill did to Naomi. Obviously, Naomi was the one who took Jade Cargill out. This situation is a little bit different. No one in the tag team as the tag team champions necessarily hurt Liv Morgan, but they hurt her emotionally by replacing her with the new member Roxanne Perez. And this is great for Roxanne. It's great for her call-up, entering the faction of the Judgment Day. A lot of people were a little bit skeptical, I feel like, at first. But this is great. We're going to maybe see Roxanne and Liv Morgan have a feud right off the bat. And maybe we could even see Dominic turn against Liv Morgan and go towards Roxanne Perez. This is huge for Roxanne. It's creating a superstar in Roxanne. It's giving us a great feud within the women's division throughout the entire WWE. And it's making the Judgment Day be even more relevant. And it could maybe even elevate the Judgment Day status. Who knows? Or does Liv maybe get a tag team partner and go against Roxanne and Raquel Rodriguez for the tag team titles when Liv Morgan comes back? A lot of different scenarios that they could do here. But I feel like out of the entire Judgment Day, Roxanne Perez is really the main target. She's the newbie. She's getting tag team gold right off the bat when she didn't really do anything to deserve it. But the main catalyst of this all, and it is the person who brought Roxanne into the Judgment Day, happens to be our new one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, Finn Balor. Finn Balor eagerly wanted Roxanne into the group and also was number one to vote that Roxanne should be the other half of the Tag Team Champions. And making it known, Liv Morgan would love this. Finn has a plan, I think, as well as Roxanne. I think they formed this plan prior to Roxanne joining the Judgment Day. And like I said before, Roxanne joining the Judgment Day is probably one of the greatest things that Roxanne has done in her career, because the opportunities that Roxanne is going to be getting in the future, especially just being on the main roster alone, we're going to see Roxanne Perez being in a lot of major feuds. One with Liv Morgan. We could see Roxanne and Dominic. Like I said before, we could see Dominic and Roxanne team up. You know, Dominic adding Roxanne Perez to his resume. I mean, we could go a lot of different scenarios here, but needless to say, this year, this second half of 2025 is going to be huge for Roxanne Perez, and I'm very excited to see it. And speaking of gold, we talked about a lot of gold because the Judgment Day has a lot of gold right now. Seth Rollins might want that championship from Gunther. I'm thinking that's a little weird. I don't see Seth Rollins going back to the World Heavyweight Championship. I see Seth Rollins cashing in at SummerSlam. Cody Rhodes beats John Cena for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Seth Rollins comes out, cashes in on Cody Rhodes. That's how I see it. I could be wrong. Just a prediction. Just a hot take. But with what also happened in that same segment, CM Punk pushing our world champion down? CM Punk pushing the ring general? Could we see Punk and Gunther at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship? This feud would be great. I feel like the promo battles between Punk and Gunther would be phenomenal. I would really like to see this. This would be, I think, the first time that they wrestle on TV together, because I think they've wrestled during the holiday tours for the World Heavyweight Championship during Gunther's first title reign. But I would love to see Punk and Gunther. Or, maybe if that goes down, maybe Seth Rollins cashes in on CM Punk if Punk beats Gunther. Punk gets his first World Championship title reign ever since, his last run in WWE. And Seth Rollins ruins it for Punk, cashing in at SummerSlam and becoming our new World Heavyweight Champion. Giving Punk, similar to that Drew McIntyre effect, giving Punk 2 minutes of fame with the World Heavyweight Championship. Punk is soaking it all in. He's in New Jersey. He's in SummerSlam. Bam, Seth Rollins comes down and ruins the night for Punk. That'd be cool too. Maybe I have to switch my prediction for SummerSlam. Maybe I have to go with Rollins cashing in on a potential Punk versus Gunther match at SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know. I think I would that would make it pretty interesting for Rollins to go back to the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways that they could go with this. And also in the same segment, LA Knight isn't done with Seth Rollins. He's not. We might be able to see LA Knight enter the main event title scene or just main event status, involving himself with CM Punk backstage, getting into an argument. Seth Rollins. Wouldn't be surprised if we see LA Knight and Gunther. Just put LA Knight on Monday Night Raw at this point. I love the opportunities that Knight could have between those guys that I just named, rather than the top guys like a Randy Orton, a Cody Rhodes, and a John Cena over on Friday Night SmackDown. I think LA Knight against a CM Punk, a Seth Rollins, or a Gunther. I like that. I like that a lot. I think that would be really, really cool. And I think we could see LA Knight maybe enter that main event scene. With feuding with guys like that, you're bound to. There's no question. And like I said in one of the previous podcast episodes, I believe my last one, the women's intercontinental title scene is looking so good right now. Bayley and Lyra, they had a number one contendership match to face Becky Lynch for the IC title. And it ended in a draw. When was the last time we seen that happen? And they actually had it purposely done that way. Makes a lot of sense. These three women have been going at it. They've been making this title very relevant. They've been making this title something that maybe one of the other top stars might want to go after, because they're giving it a lot of prestige. Make this a triple threat match at Evolution. This match would absolutely cook. There's a lot of storyline, driven throughout all three women. This match could be really, really good and really, really entertaining. I would be really down to see that at Evolution. I don't think that's just me. I think I'm speaking for a lot of people when I say that. Lyra, Bayley, Becky, I said this in my last podcast episode. They have been absolutely killing it. And it's really good to see, because the title was looking pretty shaky at some point, but now we're seeing good things. We're seeing good things. I couldn't even speak. That's how flattered I am. That's how flabbergasted I am of how good this IC title scene is looking for the women. Fantastic job, ladies. And we ended off the show, tag team match, Braun, Bronson, Sami Zayn, and my boy Penta. My boy Penta, who was walking down at Night of Champions. It ended with Jey Uso. At first, when I first watched it, when I was looking at the highlights, I was like, Jey Uso is saving Sami Zayn. Like, is he just he's gonna yeet with the crowd and he's gonna run in and he's gonna super kick. No, I was wrong. What we saw at least from what I saw, I liked what I saw from Jey Uso. I like this Jey Uso. I don't like the super yeet Jey Uso. I like the right-hand man Jey Uso. I like the Jey Uso that saw Jimmy Uso bathing in a puddle of blood from Gunther, and Jey Uso had that grit and determination. I like that Jey Uso. I don't like this kiddie Jey Uso, where he's not viewed as a threat or to be taken seriously. Say what you want. I've seen people were commenting under one of my videos where I said babyfaces should be viewed a little, as intimidating at times. And people were saying they're babyfaces, they shouldn't be like that. Dude, if Jey Uso was a world champion, and majority of the time when he's coming out there on the show, he's just yeeting with kids. Like our world champion as a heel, the heel should really walk into the title scene like Gunther did and just be like, dude, I'm going to squash you. Like there's no competition here. I like Jey Uso came out with a chair. He had that look in his face like, dude, I'm tired of playing games, dude. I'm going to get busy. Let's say it like that. Jey Uso got busy. Hit Braun Breaker with the chair. Came in, hit Bronson Reed with the chair, saving the day at the same time. Being a babyface, still being a babyface, but looking dominant. Like, that's good. I like seeing that from Jey. I like seeing this version of Jey Uso rather than the Jey Uso who just eats for 10 minutes, does it, 4 letters, 1 word thing, and then he leaves, and he just looks like a gimmick. I like seeing the other side of Jey Uso. But at the same time, I didn't see what happened right before the credits ended. But Sami Zayn was in this match. And I always somehow involve Cross to be a part of certain situations. But I think this makes sense. Cross, obviously, when he attacked him, he was telling Sami, he was like, tell the truth, Sami. Tell the truth. Say that you're a liar. And with Jey Uso saving Sami Zayn, maybe Sami is going to get tired of always being saved. And maybe his friends in the company, from a character standpoint, maybe Sami Zayn will get tired of all of his friends saving him. And maybe Sami starts taking it as an insult. And maybe Sami actually gets annoyed the next time. Maybe Jey Uso comes to save him. Maybe Jey saves him in a backstage segment where Cross is attacking Sami, and Jey does save him, prevents Cross from doing any damage to Sami, but then Sami's like, dude, I could handle my own business, I could handle my own battles. Stop saving me. And then maybe Jay's like, whoa, we're friends, Sami, we're best friends. I'm just trying to help you out. So maybe we see a character arc for Sami Zayn starting to listen to Karrion Kross. Could you imagine if this feud between Kross and Sami ends up with Sami and Kross actually forming together? Whoa. That's something to think about. Now, this all relies on Sami Zayn following through with what Kross is really saying. Now, is it a reach? Yeah, I think it is. Is it a possibility? 100%. I can definitely see this storyline between Kross and Sami. No, I can't see it ending where Sami Zayn is still going to be the same exact character that he was, that he's been for the last year or two, or honestly, whenever he's a babyface. I think we're going to see some type of change. We're going to see some type of change in Sami Zayn's character for sure when the Kross and Sami Zayn storyline is over. I think we're going to see a very interesting character from Sami Zayn in the future, and I'm honestly down to see that. I think I'm kind of done with seeing Sami Zayn just being the mega babyface. I'm going to save the day. I'm going to be the hero in this situation. Kross is right. You're not going to be world champion that way. And I think with, Sami's friends always saving him, seeing that his friends are winning championships because they started to look out for themselves, I think Sammy will actually follow through and actually, take advice from Cross. I don't know. That's me involving Cross, but I think it's a realistic, outcome. I think it really is. But that was the entire recap of Monday Night Raw that just happened last night, as I'm currently recording this, and Night of Champions. Both shows were, at least Monday Night Raw appeared to be very good. It was a double taping. I'm going to try not to see any spoilers. I think it's going to be really hard. I feel like, the next time I open up Instagram, I'm going to see a spoiler for next week's Monday Night Raw. I'm sure of it. But Night of Champions was a great show. Thought it was really good. I honestly was kind of like, it's called Night of Champions, but it's really King and Queen of the Ring. I saw that from Chris Van Fleet because he was right, because there was only 2 title defenses at a PLE that's called Night of Champions. So, I don't know. But the name of it, the PLE could have been different, but that doesn't make the show not a good show. Let's be real here. So as always, if you're listening, you got your phone down and you're just hearing this, you're just listening to the podcast, drop a like, comment, let me know your opinions on Monday Night Raw and Night of Champions. And as always, subscribe to the podcast. We upload daily shorts from the episodes every single day on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And yeah. That's all the socials. Yeah, I thought there was more. That's quite a bit. As always, thank you so much for tuning in and listening. And I will see you later this week for the Friday Night SmackDown recap and maybe even a SummerSlam predictions podcast as well. We'll see, though. We'll see. But for sure, later this week, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you in the next one.